Welcome to the trials and tribulations of Halifax Blue Sox Rugby League Club. A look at the ups and downs of Super Leagues 3 and 4 in the company of former New Zealand international and now head coach at the Shea, Gary Mercer.
It was new for me. I'd come from Leeds and come into a Halifax side that, probably over the last previous season has been very mediocre. And to get away with a good win at the start of the season is a good team spirit boost.
Roll it. To Dio Powell, 10 metres out under the Broncos post. And Halifax could look to capitalise had they gone left. But here comes Skerritt, and Skerritt with his, could have been his first try for Halifax. Wants to get up and play it quickly, but Pat Nowner insisting on slowing the play down. Clint gets the ball away. Halifax keep it alive. Gavin Clint, seeing the gap, dives over. First try in the Blue Sox colours for Gavin Clint, involved twice in the move. Well, Skerritt almost went over. To Tuilagi came from nowhere. Clint turns it back inside to Moana. Moana with his strength and the power. Gets the ball down. Second try for Halifax. Tuilagi came in from nowhere. On the floor to put back down under pressure. Tuilagi there behind the ball comes it loose. Gavin Clint in for his second try. And Pat Nowner to be put at fullback. He's normally a winger. Harrison, that one go behind him. Baldwin will have another go here. That's the ball for Mercer.
Halifax, number 11, Gary Mercer.
Timo against Dio Powell. Powell will Timo to the floor. Last tackle. Broncos perhaps will go for the power play. With Dunford. Long pass from Dunford. Tuilagi against the fire.
When I reflect back and I look at the season in total, it was just great team spirit, and we didn't have a team of stars. We had a team of guys who wanted to work for each other.
Marner's brought down 10 metres out from the Huddersfield line. Baldwin turned back on the inside ball, thought about the pass, and then is put down by two. Gavin Clint, short ball to Harrison. Gavin Clint, turning, going inside, Clint's for the line. Third try of the season. Well, I don't know if the Huddersfield Giants players will listen to the Queen tune that played in the back. But that should be played surely after the try and not while play's going on. But it won't alter it because Gavin Clint has scored Halifax's first points at the Shea. He turns round, gives it to Rowlett, to Chester. Chester sees a little bit of an opportunity. Gets it away on one knee. Tuilagi will go for the corner. Tuilagi will go all the way to the corner. Two Huddersfield Giants players had hold of him. But Ferretti, Tuilagi, only needs one snip of the gap. And he's away. Now Mercer charging towards that Giants line. Brought down 7 metres away. Chances for Halifax, early points. Well, Carl Harrison and Paul Rowley not reading the script there. Not a regular try scorer in Carl Harrison, but he had a chance of one there, perhaps. Another one here as a chance as Martin Moana. And Moana extends Halifax's advantage. And the wind has assisted in drying this surface, which has held up pretty well tonight. course, as far as the Blue Sox are concerned, it should only get better as we get nearer to the summer, sometime about 8 or 10 weeks away, in the middle of June or July. Oh, great play from Chester. Chester has support there from, I think it's Martin Moana, and that will put the seal on a victory for Halifax.
First defeat in Super League 3 came at the hands of the old enemy Wigan Warriors. Never easier games at the best of times. Just the one try from Damien Gibson, and in the end it was quite emphatic at 40 points to 6.
It was a bit disappointing. I think I got sent off in that game, unfortunately, with a head-eye tackle on Chris Linsky.
An accidental head-eye
Accidentally one. I got off on an SOS, but it was disappointing because we started the season well, and then to get beaten by a big score like that was disappointing.
The up and down season, the inconsistency of the season up to that stage continued then with a victory over Castleford Tigers, and them are not easier to come by, are they?
No, we've got quite a good record against Cass. You know, they're not a bogey side to us, and it was a good victory.
First 4-pointer. Could it come from this set of 6? Chester turning it back inside to Skerritt. And Skerritt put down 7 metres away from the Tigers' line. Chester, long ball out to Moana, who'll step back inside through 2. Great ball to Clark. This will be the first try for Halifax. To put it down to the half-back combination who'll set it up. Chester with a long pass, and Moana with a dummy and the step back inside. Now Skerritt looking for his first Halifax try. It could be on here, and he's mobbed on the floor by a few of his teammates. But that was sheer power from Kelvin Skerritt.
Takes it up. Diesel worked hard this first half. Not best pass it world.
Pass to Ilangi, picks it up, and expected cheers from the Halifax supporters when Tuilangi gets the ball in that position. Chances here, chip through again. Well, that'll seal it for Halifax. Dio Powell getting down on the chip through. Last tackle, Castleford might have given it up anyway. Dio Powell will run it up from acting half, but not so far. He's got Damien Nutley all over him. Chester, great break by Chester. Inside is Clark, and Clark on his way to the line. This will be Halifax's first try, and Clark will put the first 4-pointer on the board for Halifax. Puts him down 15 metres out. Harrison off the short ball towards the Warrington line, looking to get the pass away to Rowley. Rowley to Clinch. Busy, Clinch on the busy side of the field, but Clinch made it look so easy with a dummy at the step. Rowley from acting half, inside to Des Clark, shows the ball, one-handed to Moana. Moana out to Chester. Chester has Pearson in support. Pearson puts one out to Bouveng. Bouveng goes back inside to Gillespie. Gillespie to Rowley. Brilliant handling move. Moana gets it away to Clinch. Clinch stepping inside too. Second try for Gavin Clinch. What a score for Halifax. Stringing 8, 9, 10 passes together on the way to the Warrington line.
It's his third touch of the ball in this first set. Here goes. Oh, Bradley, well covered. Chances now, last tackle. Little ball from Edwards. Dummies, kicks. It's not the best kick in the world. Peacock comes up with it, throws it to ground. This is dangerous. Oh, dearie me, that's Gibson. Couldn't quite play on. I thought that was a knock-on. Play on, says Mr. Cummings. Gibson! Oh, he's got a catch. He did it. Wonderful stuff. This is a great try for Halifax. Wonderful football for the Blue Sox. Great work from Damien Gibson. Coming over them, and they just seem to run out of execution and ideas. Rowley offloads to Gibson. Gibson can run. Gibson's got some toe. Graham chasing. Okoku. Good chase from Okoku. Great work from Gibson. Just stood back there in the Bulls' defence, and Gibson went. Chester toes one to the corner. Bovan takes it on the full. Where were the Brulser players? Great try, Halifax. Book that down as one of the best in Super League so far for me. Bovan took that on the full, and it looked as though there was no Brulser players at all. Steps inside. Oh, who's that man? It's McNamara. That was tackle time. Spread again from Chester. Baldwin can't offload. Good work, Robbie Paul. Throwing everything in this game, Halifax. Here's the spread again. Oh, he's in the corner. Great work from the Halifax. Bovan snuck in at the corner. Oh, what great stuff from the Blue Sox. They threw everything into attack. They kept the ball alive. They spread the ball one way and the other. Took it back to the right, brought it back to the left, and attacked the short side. And the Bulls just caught napping.
Tough test defensive-wise. Skerritt goes through the first tackle. Gets up and plays it quickly, and Kennedy signs for Halifax. Rowley out to Clinch. Clinch has Clark in support. Clark out the back. Clinch does well to keep his eye on the ball, and then even better to get it away to Mercer. Now Moana stepping inside, has 4 men over him. Inside again to Mercer. Support from Harrison. Harrison looks round and Mercer's there again. Only to be brought down 2 metres away. Superb play by Halifax, and Mercer was in it nearly every other play there. Moana over the top. Here, Tuilagi. Easy try for Tuilagi. But the build-up was superb from this side of the field. And he won't get it from such close range. Chester. Newlove all over Pearson. Saw the ball coming. Pearson wants to get up and play it quickly. Bit of a tangle. Clinch. 3-2 on that side. Moana inside. What a step from Moana. Had a massive overlap outside him, did Martin Moana. First man in was Davison, totally irrelevant. Tuilagi, you'd think he'd won the cup the way he's jumping up and down, but that on the back of the victory at Odsal last week. Superb for Halifax. Making 10 or 15 metres away from the Eagles' line. So the mistake will give Halifax the advantage as Gillespie gets through the first tackle. Out to Tuilagi for the corner. First try for the Blue Sox. And it was Watson who made the mistake. He'd done all the work. Halifax just losing the way a little bit. Gillespie goes forward, gets the pass away to Pearson. Pearson brings Boven back on the inside, appeals for the high tackle. Boven a little shaky as Clinch puts the kick up on the last tackle behind the Eagles line. There is a scramble, but the touchdown has been made. I don't know who's going to get up with the ball. It's Paul Rowley. Basic handling errors. Pearson stepping inside. Pearson's found the gap. Anything Nick Pinckney can do, Martin Pearson can do better. Rick Hansen saw a knock on, and it came from a Sheffield player, so Halifax have the advantage anyway with 6 more tackles. Chester out to Gibson. Gibson out to Tuilagi looking for his second. He'll get there, he'll stretch out despite 2 tacklers. So the breaking play allowed Halifax to reform at the scrum. They've got the possession. Metres out, Chester with Bouveng running off the short ball. Bouveng in at the corner. That should seal a match for Halifax at this stage. But Chester, the architect of that one. Mercer to the left, clinch. Brings in Gillespie. Good tackling on Gillespie by Logan Campbell. Mercer in acting half. Halifax looking a bit more expansive. Chester out to Gibson, who's moved up into the line from full-back. Here goes Tuilagi, pops it up for Gibson. Halifax's first try, and it's the first time they've managed to keep possession in the Sharks' half of the field. Tuilagi turning round, normally a try scorer, this time a provider for Damien Gibson, who linked up twice in that movement, went over for Halifax's first try. Rolling inside to Marshall. And Marshall trying to force his way through Schultz. Rowley turns it back inside to Mercer. And Mercer runs on a wide arc towards that far touchline. But defence there waiting for him. Perhaps a question now of the Sharks' ability to go the 80 minutes. Chip over the top from Chester. Comes up for Tuilagi. Tuilagi turns it back inside. Gibson there again. Pearson points under the post. Well, Chester, the man, supplied the kick. Perhaps speculative, but it held up for Tuilagi, and Tuilagi had a tackler around him, turned inside, and there was Gibson again. Almost a replay of Gibson's try in the first half. 2 tries to Damien Gibson. Halifax back within 2 points at 14 points to 12. Skerritt pops it up. Chester will continue the run for Halifax. Pass never on there, nobody close enough. Gibson from acting half, last tackle. Skerritt through 2, pops the ball up for Chester. Try time for Halifax. Referee Ganson taking a long look at the touch judges. What's he going to make of that? Got to give the try because Ulver caught napping as Skerritt went through 2. Quick play the ball, power play on the last tackle. Hull standing back, Chester in support. Skerritt perhaps could have gone for his second, unselfishly gave the ball to Chester. Halifax back in the lead by 2 at 18 points to 16. Bradford up to Harrison and Leicester. Rowley in the acting half position. Clinch. Pearson sees a gap. Great burst of speed from Pearson. A race to the line. Turns it away to Gibson. Gibson back inside to Jamie Bloom. And I think that's Jamie Bloom's first touch of the match. And he's going to put it down behind the post. Brilliant try. Well, Steve Ganson is going to take a look at the video replay. Well, what are you thinking of? The first man, Leaderman's on to bring him down. Rowley quickly and again at acting half. Chester with the juggling skills. Out to Jamie Bloom, and Bloom's seen a bit of a gap. Almost away. Campbell just doing the ankle tap. Moana gets the ball away. It goes to ground. Marshall has to go down to pick it up, and Halifax losing ground, but they may have 6 more tackles as Mercer comes from acting half. Mercer all the way to the line. Gary Mercer, that will be the one that probably seals it for Halifax. Well, it's been a long time coming, and Halifax would have been hoping to look comfortable a long time before now, but they're certainly in the driving seat with that try from Mercer, which moves Halifax on to 30, while Hull's Sharks remain with just the 1 penalty from Smith in this second half on 16. Almost reaching out to the try line for the Halifax's first try. Clinch, dummies, then brings it back the other way, then tries to find an opening but runs into 3. Still a metre away, and Halifax are being given time to set up the passes. Salford defence not moving out quick enough. Des Clark takes up a centre position, drop ball back inside to Bouveng. Super try, Andy Platt's complaining. Well, the Salford defence just didn't react at all when Mercer took the ball and he almost went over. Interfered as Salford did, so Halifax could do with a 12-point cushion. They're in for it now with Harrison running on strong left. Still looking for his first try of the season, brought down 8 metres out. Rowley to Clinch to Mercer. Mercer will have to go it alone. Bloom gets there eventually. Bloom against Rogers. Bloom for the corner. Rogers, not a chance. Left for dead. Golden opportunity to turn the 12 into, or the 10 into 16. Clinch to Powell. Powell with pace and power taken out around the head, but it's irrelevant because Halifax are going to get another 4 point. Dio Powell. And players like Gary Mercer and Damien Gibson will be relishing that class next week. As Moana makes the opening, steps Moana towards the line, 2 in pursuit. Russell's after him. Moana away to Rowley. Unselfish from Halifax, loose forward. The back three. Lots of experience there. Marcus St-Hilaire, Barry McDermott, Marvin Golden and Jamie Matthew on the bench. Ball goes into play from the kick-off. Tries to play it quickly. Chester, last tackle, back to Clinch. Testing out the Leeds defence, playing with the sun in their eyes in this first half. Mistake from Sterling, tries for Skerritt. Well, there's only about 3 minutes gone. John Connolly's going to take a look on the replay. He kept in an offside position there. Technically, ball comes loose again. It's gone backwards. Sterling might need the pace, but the touch judge seen something. Sterling fancies his hand with Skerritt. Well, Skerritt's still throwing punches. Sterling instigated it, and Blackmore's in. Here we go again. Well, it's been coming for some time as this. John Connolly has penalised the little offences to try and keep players apart. Kelvin Skerritt just lost it there, but Sterling did have a bit of a tug. And Sterling is having a word with Carl Harrison. Interesting that he started the battle with Kelvin Skerritt and then disappeared. Halifax have been to the Rhinos line in the second half. Marshall on the charge, brought down a metre out. Looked for all the world as though it was a dummy runner to start with. Rowley to Clinch. Clinch turns it back inside to Moana. Moana, strength and power. Marcus Hilaire couldn't stop him. Moana going forward. Well, perhaps only a consolation try for Halifax. Left-hand side. Halifax trying to put the move on. Moana trying to go through. Matterson and Rexless making the tackle. Rowley pushes Rexless away. One-handed away to Harrison. Carl Harrison, will Harrison get his first try of the season? Gets up, tries to continue. Brought down a metre short. Marshall might. As he goes from the acting half, Robert Connolly looks at the officials. Rowley moving out wide again. Clinch. Well, he opted to straighten up. And he's not going to get through the tackle of Dunford and Carroll. 20-metre line. Marshall skips through too. Marshall under the post. Well, reward for John Pendlebury for putting his faith in Richard Marshall. Superb play from the Halifax Broncos, stringing the passes together, keeping the ball alive. Clinch gets it away to Carl Harrison. Outrageous dummy from Carl Harrison. And Carl Harrison celebrates his first try of the season. Robert Connolly takes a long look at the touch judges. ball away to Gibson. Gibson on halfway, running the angle, brought down just inside the Giants' half. Richards the tackler. Flings the chip over the top for Bentley to chase. Pressure on there for Cheatham. Cheatham stuck it. Bentley back inside. There's a try on here for Halifax. First try for the Halifax Blue Sox. Dave King there again for Huddersfield. Well, he's probably going to have no problem topping the tackle count. Dio Powell could top the try scoring count because that's his second. Looking round for somebody on his shoulder again, nobody there. Fifth tackle. Rowley out to Clinch. Halifax going for the power play. Clinch inside to Mercer. Try to Gary Mercer. By Weston on the 20. Halifax moving it quickly. Gillespie, great ball out to Booving. Race on here with Booving. Stepping inside round two. Tuilangi against Arnold. Never going to stop him. Halifax, quick reply. One end of the field to the other. Gibson sees and spots a gap from Acton now. Gibson against Arnold. Here goes Gibson. Arnold's given up the chase. Gibson behind the line. Well, he looked up from Acton half, saw the gap that was there. 8 minutes to go. Can Halifax had anything in those last 8 minutes? They made a weir. Chester inside to Baldwin. No forward pass this time, and it was Clint that set Chester on his way. Chester, good pass inside to Baldwin.
Close game, and I felt that game there. When I reflect back again on that game, I felt there was a poor decision by a referee. I think at the time was the play the ball and Marty Moano knocked on, well, it was seemingly knocked on or something, and he allowed the try to be scored, and then he went back. I think it might have been 2 plays back, and pulled a knock on or something. So
Another try for Chris Chester in that game.
yeah, Chris Chester, class player, had a great season in '98, and sad to see him leave the club. But then things do change, and we might see him back in the blue and white.
Into line. Rowley looked up though, they might get the penalty. Gets it away to Skerritt. And Breers with a Cumberland throw on Skerritt. Farah carried on the argument for Breers. Clinch, chances here for Clinch, stepping, gets it away to Mercer. Mercer has a sight of that Warrington line, but can't just make it. Last tackle, Clinch stretches out, last tackle, Gavin Clinch. Starman at Castleford in the second half. Halifax with the power play. So 6 more tackles for Halifax towards that Warrington line. Moana's dropped out of the scrum. And that dropped the shoulder, turns it inside to Powell. Powell off to the line, easy try, punches the air in delight. Well, thanks to the touchers who saw the forward pass, Halifax had 6 tackles to attack that Warrington line and they didn't need him. Harrison now, off the short ball, charging towards that Warrington line and getting to within 8 metres. Great run from the Halifax captain. Halifax setting up the attack again. Clinch with a long ball out to Bloom. Bloom in at the corner. Long ball again from Clinch, put Booveng in at Castleford last week. This time it puts Jamie Bloom in. Jamie Bloom from acting half. Gets it away to Rowley. Rowley out to Chester. Chester shows the ball, one-handed to Booveng. Brilliant, hands out to Tuilanga. Tuilanga against Cowell. Mercer on the inside. Nobody will stop Mercer as he trots off around behind the post. Well, he has gone quiet, but it's all livened up again now. And Bloom taking a knock. Marshall running off the flat ball, out the back to Clinch. Overlap here for Halifax again. Mercer short ball to Moana. Moana with an easy step around Cowell. Early points for Halifax. Warrington had the chance at the other end.
More orthodox kicking, but the ball's coming up with a variety of kicks. Bradley there taking the ball wide on the right and putting a crossfield kick in, and everybody was ready for it. The ball ended with Tuilanga, tackled by Scales, 2 big lads there on the wing. This is Moana gone through, beautiful football. Clark with a lovely pass, that's great football from the Blue Sox.
Blue Sox will accept it all day from the mistakes. Here goes Gibson up the middle of the field. Surging run from Gibson. Try time, 4-pointer for Damien Gibson. Well, it's action replay time almost, because Gibson did that at Odsall. Super League with 18, great ball from Chester out to Mercer. Mercer hammered 12 metres out from the Eagles line. Rowley out to Clinch. Long ball out to Clark. Chances here for the Blue Sox. Clark turns it back inside. Booveng over in the corner. Halifax's first try. It looked as though Clark may have made it to the winning. Halifax sensing another try on here. Chester, long ball out. 2 tries to Booveng in the corner. Again, the Sheffield defence was sucked into the middle under the post with that blockbusting run from Skerritt. Pearson to Clinch. Clinch out to Chester. Chester running it, turning it inside, almost getting it away to Skerritt, but Skerritt had just overrun the possibility of a pass. Last tackle, power play from Halifax. Powell for the corner. Another 4-pointer. Well, Dio Powell's moved into the centre position this week. Defenders behind him, but he's got to play the ball quickly. Halifax go to that left-hand side again. Clark off the short ball. Great pass out the back to Clinch. Clinch away to Harrison. Harrison on his way to the line. Halifax captain Carl Harrison, second try of the season. It will not be off for the Eagles. Halifax will have the scrum 10 metres out. Holding it in again, forcing the Eagles 6 backwards. Chester out to Bloom. Bloom for the corner. Straight through the Eagles defence. Great try from Jamie Bloom. 10 metres for the Blue Sox cause. Marshall to Clinch. Bringing Bloom back on the inside. Jamie Bloom being named man of the match. Celebrated with a hat-trick. Great running from Bloom. Nobody acting half. Gibson lets a loose one away. Clinch puts it up for Des Clark. Halifax within 5 metres. Rowley for the line. Can't get the ball down. Ocassini putting himself underneath Paul Rowley and forcing him back. Last tackle, Harrison, Marshall. Blue Sox for the power play. Could be chances on the outside here. Bloom for the corner. And Bloom continuing where he left off last week. Doubled his try tally for the season. Just trying to help the forwards out. Harrison turns it back on the inside to Clark. Des Clark sees a bit of a gap, shrugs away from 2. Looking inside for support. Clinch is there. This will be a try under the post for Gavin Clinch. His 8th of the season. But Des Clark it was who made it for him. Sharks must have thought they were out of trouble when Andy Ireland had taken that ball away from Gavin Clinch, the intersection, the arm stretched out. Stevenson, Rowley from acting half, and Rowley has found a gap. He's only one man to beat. Rowley on his way to the line. Another try under the post. Martin Pearson has Clinch hoists one eye in the air. He's testing one of the best fullbacks in Super League in Steve Prescott. But Prescott's in trouble. Rowley's in for his second try. Supporters knowing that his last game he was injured at Saints where he's bound for next season. Dio Powell, Jamie Bloom and Dave Bouvenk for 3 quarters. Chris Chester, Gavin Clinch, the halfbacks, Kelvin Skerritt, Martin Hall, Richard Marshall, Carl Gillespie, Des Clark, Simon Baldwin. Still no Martin Moana. That's the starting line. Marshall. Halifax props trying to force this Reds defence back towards their own line. Clinch now looking for options. Pearson running wide on the outside. Good ball away to Tuilangi. And Tuilangi salutes the crowd, and the crowd salute Tuilangi. Well done. Into Savelio, good pass away to Martin Hall. Baldwin looking for support. Clinch there. Clinch gets it away to Marshall. Halifax stringing passes together, not really making much ground. Clinch down the short side. Gillespie, there's a big gap there, looking to take advantage of it. Gets it away to Martin Hall. Ball away for Chester. White had committed himself and left a gap in the line. Paul will throw a long pass out to Bouvenk, and Halifax's second try will come, and Bouvenk is allowed to take it 20 metres infield from the touchline. Game goes on. Halifax come back again. They've made it to halfway already. Powell steps forward, and for Marlowe, then goes forward and is brought down just inside the Salford 40. Played quickly to Hall. Clinch turns it back inside to Pearson. Great run. Pearson has Gillespie outside him. There's calls for the forward pass again. And the Salford defence caught on the hop. Put down 5 metres out. Clinch to Chester. Chester bringing Mercer back on the inside. Good move again, catching the Salford defence. They did well to put Mercer down. But Halifax could yet be looking for another 4 points. Baldwin for the corner. Gets it back inside to Clinch. Clinch keeps hold of it. And reward again for Halifax for keeping the ball alive. From acting half, trying to find an opening. Brings Powell back on the inside. Good tackling on Powell from Richie Blackmore. And I think it's Blackmore, slow to get to his feet. Clinch with a kick through. Comes up for Clinch. Try time for Gavin Clinch. A lucky bounce, but it doesn't matter. Gavin Clinch picked it up. The referee, Steve Presley, will not let this degenerate into a brawl. As Harrison drives it up for Halifax. Rowley turns it back inside to Harrison again. Harrison skips 1, skips 2, showing the dummy. Gets it away to Chester. Chester has Clinch in support. 2 tries for Gavin Clinch. Brilliant play from the Blue Sox. Well, Carl Harrison took up the role as half-back there, throwing the dummy, slipping the ball away. Obviously, teams will try and slow you down. Good pass from Marshall to Moana. And Moana, if he had support and could have got it away. Marcella making no attempt to get out of the way. Gavin Clinch, hat-trick for Clinch. And 24-0 for Halifax. And not getting up as effectively as he should do, or as quickly as he should do. Moana step though. Here's a try for Halifax. Surely Moana to the corner. Well, I just said Halifax had the lull, and it's time to score.
No team looking as if they're going to leak a try. It's going to have to be created by somebody, and this could be the man Clinch who puts a big bomb up, heading towards Leroy Rivet. So they let it bounce to Tuilagi. He could have it here. He has got it, and he's underneath the post. And there was confusion there between Yestin Harris and Leroy Rivet, and neither of them collected the ball. Tuilagi was quick to it.
Super League 3 then ended, but successfully. In technically speaking, you finished third in the league, fourth if you take into account the playoffs. And if we'd have said to the side at the beginning of the season you were going to achieve that, you would have been delighted.
Very much so. And, you know, it was a great season. I was at Leeds 5 seasons prior to Halifax, and I felt that Halifax is probably the best club I've been at. No disrespect to Leeds or the Warrington or the Bradford where I've been. I just felt, you know, it's a great setup here and a great set of lads.
Looks on the outside, but 3 men waiting for him. Rowley quickly at the play of the ball. Out to Allroyd. Allroyd, great ball, short ball to Moana. Moana will get it down this time. He doesn't need to consult anybody this time. Doesn't see Nicholson, because Martin Moana has put the try on the board for Halifax. Bloom comes up with it on the other side. Halifax have 6 more to put the pressure on. Try time in that bottom corner. Has the ball gone down? There's cheering and there's shouting and there's nothing said. Get another chance now. Clins, Moana again. Long ball out to Allroyd. Allroyd stepping inside. Allroyd towards that Giants line. That's a try. No doubt about that one. Now chances on the far side if Halifax can keep it moving. Great ball from Allroyd to Bloom. Bloom bringing Gibson on the inside, then throwing the dummy, then gets it to Gibson. Gibson gets it down in the corner. This one's going to be given. But Jamie Bloom left the Giants' defence as they followed Gibson. Being released because of no support there. Clint goes on his own, gets it away to Marshall. And as I said, Marshall's not a passer, he throws a 20-yarder out. Ball back inside, Bowen stretching for the line, gets it out to Pinckney. Halifax score. Well, keep your mouth shut, McCall.
Down, coming out short side, Clint back inside of Craig, bounce the ball, Clint for the score. Casmus Towell, Shepherd, Brucey.
Paul Broadbent, bring him down, needed help from 2. Halifax still trying to go forward, finding it hard. Good ball from Allroyd to Bloom. Quick reply here, surely for Halifax. Bloom will get the ball down. Allroyd's pass that put him in that one. Last tackle, power play from Halifax. Allroyd outside, another 4 points here, surely for Gibson. And Gibson makes the angle easier. Halifax base than it is. Cardiff receives treatment, play goes on. Allroyd kicks over the top towards the corner, pressure's on, and Pinckney, like a bolt of lightning from nowhere onto Allroyd's kick. Pinckney, is it try time for Pinckney? Carriage after him, Pinckney into the corner for his second. That should be the match for Halifax. From the Blue Sox, Hobson brought down 8 metres away. Penalty to Halifax. Rowley quick with a tap, out to Clint. Clint goes on his own, runs at Ganson, has defenders there, but Clint, as he got to the line, Steve Ganson is looking for a decision from Clint. Goes on his own again, gets the ball out the back. Gillespie trying to duck under tackles. Halifax losing 8 metres. Still with options. Quick ball on this side. Allroyd, great pass out to Cardiff. Second try for the Blue Sox. Darryl Cardiff. Well, on the part of the Blue Sox, Broadbent the dummy runner. Cardiff to Allroyd. Allroyd with a chip over into the corner. Hodgson could get there first, and Hodgson will score his first Super League try for the Halifax Blue. Rowley to Clint. Halifax setting up their options on the far side. Allroyd trying to skip through. Great ball from Chester, from Chris Allroyd. The ball, well, there was problems there for the Warriors. Gavin Clint a little unlucky. He's pinched possession. He's got it out to Gillespie. Halifax are going to score Gavin Clinch did that time after time. Broadbent will give it to Clinch, drawn a bit of defence in, long pass from Allroy. 3-1 here for Gibson, brings Bouven back on the inside. Bouven going for the corner, try time for Halifax, David Bouven. Well, there were 2 London Broncos defenders towards the post. Broadbent acting as the foil again and then charging towards the Broncos defence. Chances for Rowley, sliding under the Broncos defence. Carl Hammond complaining. 13 metres away, Gibson up quickly from acting out, turns it inside to Moana, won't stop Moana from that. Gets it away to Chester, a big gap opening up for Chester. Chances here, Rowley on for a second. Well, he isn't, but Moana will be under the post. Martin Moana side if the ball goes out wide. Chester back inside, gets it away to Broadbent. Kirkpatrick looking for the forward pass, none. Ground stringing 3 or 4 passes together. Rowley sets off on his own again from the acting half, but the Eagles defence not giving him any space after they saw what he did to him earlier on with that run. Crowther picks that one up, kick non-effective again from Clinch. Clinch pinches it though, and Clinch is going to score the try from Halifax. Matt Crowther is looking for a big hole to swallow him up, and Gavin Clinch, who does that, he did it twice against Wigan, and Matt Crowther really just waited for a big hole to swallow him up there as Gavin Clinch rents the ball from his grasp, just what Halifax needed. Crowther intent on clearing the lines against the Bradford Bulls and the Sheffield Eagles at the Don Valley last week. Putting the passes together, good from Clinch. Bloom could be onto that one, does well to take it, turns it back inside to Chester. Try time for Chester in the corner on the last tackle. Well, Clinch had caught out the Sharks defence. Prescott had dropped back for the kick, and Clinch one dropped on in the pocket just behind the Sharks defence. Ireland in the offside position, say the Halifax supporters, and claiming that it should go back to 1. Pinckney looks for a way through the middle, but the tackle was there again for the old Sharks. Clinch stepping, Clinch stepping again, leaves 2, chips over the top, chase on with Ellis. Clinch taken out, bounces up for Rowley. Clinch is on the floor, injured, but the bounce came back over the head of Graham Ellis. But Rowley nowhere to go. Sharks defence move out quick, but Rowley unloads Hobson towards that Sharks line. Brought down 5 metres away, last tackle. Clinch turns it back inside, tries for Mercer on his return. Biggest cheer of the afternoon reserved for Gary Mercer, out for 8 weeks. But his enthusiasm no doubt played in a part in this Halifax's revival. And now all the possession on the Hobson into the Sharks defence and into the Sharks quarter of the field again. Clinch to Moana. Moana through the gap with a short ball. Well, that's how easy it is for Halifax, although they've made it look hard at times this afternoon. Moana adds to his first half drop goal. Nickel there as well. Rowley feints for the kick, gives it to Clinch. Moana stepping back inside. Moana through 2. Support there from Mercer. Mercer, great ball to Bouven. What a pass from Gary Mercer. Looked as though he was going down. How did he get? Never saw it, Ronnie. Never saw it. Go, Holly Mans! What a run! Wellham to be off all the way. Mans sensibly turning inside. All over him, interference. Mans gets up, plays it quickly. Halifax streaming forward. Clinch sees a gap. Clinch for the line. Bertolini can't catch him, but it was Ollie Mans who set it up. I said it impressed in the 18th.
But he's certainly come on a bundle. Oh, as O'Neill puts it to ground, the Blue Sox come up with it, and an unforced error there by Julian O'Neill.
Bloom stepping, joint round his head. Bloom gets up and has another go. Well, he's been fairly lenient with the head-high tackles of Steve Nicholson. Both sides have done it. Great run from Gibson. Tuilangi won't catch him. Trying the corner for Gibson. Well, Halifax haven't given up the chase yet. But it's a perfect... I think you might say. But it's had no bearing on probably the outcome, nor the intensity and the skills that have been on show for all to see from both sets of players. Rowley, last tackle, sets off from acting half, he's being held up. Clinch inside to Moana. Moana under the post. I think the referee's played advantage because there were a touch of interference there on Halifax player. Mounds up towards the 40. Tackled by Bradbury and Hume. Rowley back inside to Broadbent. Hume there with Bradbury to make the tackle. Baines joining in the 40. 8 metres from halfway. Rowley to Allroyd. Out to his half-back partner Moana, who's found a bit of a gap. Cardis in space. Support from Rowley. Try time for Halifax. Perfect pass from Cardis, drawing the full-back. Rowley under the post. From Carl Briggs, Marnes up from acting half. Gillespie's come on, I think, for Danny Fearon. Halifax back in the Salford 20. Last tackle, Mercer. Mercer's thrown the dummy. Chances here for Mercer. Mercer, can he get over? Has he got the ball down? His arm's over the line. Well, he's given it to Steve Nicholson. The momentum rule carrying, so player gets up, plays it quickly, allows Rowley a bit of room. He can't keep his foot. Then gets it back to Mercer, who's looking for a second. And he gets to within 7 metres of the Salford line. Rowley out to Moana. Will drop the shoulder, cut back inside. Support there from Gillespie. Well, he pulled the last one back, but for a forward pass from Pinkney. Well, it looked to me like that one to Gillespie was more. Well, referee looking in favour for Salford and calling the scrum again when he might have given a penalty. Moana stepped. Moana, second try here of the half for Halifax. Darryl Cardis. Well, I'll take back what I said about the Halifax. Into trouble just inside the Gateshead half. Steve Presley calling Gateshead back and letting them go to 8 metres this time as Broadbent's brought down with just an ankle tap. Barnes away to Rowley. Last tackle. Good ball out to Des Clark. Clark gets it away to Gibson. Gibson stepping inside. Gibson under the post. Try time for the Blue Sox. And the 3 defenders left. On the absent fresh man. It's allowed both sets of players a bit of a breather. Fearon from the back of the scrum. Up from acting half towards the line. Away to Rowley. Great support from Rowley. Salutes the crowd. Second try for the Blue Sox. He's put down on the 10-metre line. Mercer towards the line. Draws 3 defenders towards him. Wants to get up and play it quickly. Numbers on this side for Halifax. Gateshead move across. Great pass from Allroyd. Cardis in again. Well, Gibson's playing on the wing. Great run from David Hodgson. Last tackle though. Can Halifax capitalise? Rowley. Well, stray pass. Pinkney picks it up, then kicks to the corner and chases. Chances here. Did he get the ball down? is celebrating. The touch judge again has stood in the position. Is it a try-scoring one? Yes, says Steve Presley. Well, Matt Daylight didn't know what he was doing there. Well, he was waiting for the ball to go over. Now Gateshead frustrations are spilling over. That's a priceless try as far as Halifax are concerned. 10-metre line, Allroyd goes on his own. Too many defenders though. Fearon can't escape the clutches, gets it back to Gibson. Loads of options on for Halifax over this side if they get it. Hodgson has the pace, he's through. Another try for David Hodgson against the Gateshead Thunder. That'll put the matter beyond doubt for the Halifax Blue Sox. Stretching the Gateshead defence, pulling all across to the right-hand side. Not only in defence so far, but in attack as well in the Blue Sox. Mick Shaw away from acting now. Debut try for Mick Shaw. And isn't he pleased about that the way he's snapped?
Mercer turns a nice little ball inside to Randall. Good football. That's a nice combination. So Moana uses the air. There's nobody behind the goal line. It's near the post. It's awkward. Randall stuffs it down. Try time for the Blue Sox. Side chances here. There could be chances now for Halifax turning defence into attack. It's Cardis or Bulbing that's got it away to Pinkney. It'll be a first try for the Blue Sox with Pinkney, two London defenders trying to cut down the angle of goal. Well, London went for the power play. 2 minutes left on the clock. Halifax looking perhaps to have the last say as Bulbing releases Mercer. Mercer takes it back inside. Gillespie went close earlier. He went close then, but he's got the ball. First man standing up had no effect on Broadbent. He needed the other two there. Good ball from Allroyd. Clark quickly on. Chances here. Bulbing turns it inside. Try time for Nick Pinkney on that far side of the field. Quick play, catching Wakefield. Puts that one off the side of his foot. Bouncing awkwardly. Hodgson could win that one. This could be a try. Nobody's going to catch Hodgson. Off down the touchline. All the way. Stott never made the ball his own. Halifax held back off it, waited for the bounce. And Hodgson on his return puts that one off the side of his foot, bouncing awkwardly. Hodgson could win that one. This could be a try. Nobody's going to catch Hodgson. Off down the touchline, all the way. Stott never made the ball. It to Dunneman. And Huddersfield caught for offside. Dunneman takes it quickly to himself, gets the ball down. That's the first try for Andrew Dunneman. Huddersfield. Gibson's back on. Straight pass to Hobson, not the best. Hobson towards the line. Hobson slams the ball down. Halifax back in the ball game. Cummings has to give the try. Hobson scoops it up with one hand from the acting half and forces his way over. The Ducks' bigger side. Long pass from Shaw to Allroyd. Pressure immediately on for Allroyd. But he's carved a gap up the middle. Has support there from Pinkney. And Pinkney will go in for Halifax's second try. Oh, did he get the ball down properly? John Connolly's answered away. Allroyd to Moana. Throws the dummy, then sets off. Chip through from Allroyd. Race to the line, and Allroyd's got the bounce. Now gets the pass away. Allroyd, long ball to Moana. Back inside to Cardiff. Cardiff found the gap, has Allroyd in support. Halifax hit back in style. What a try. And Allroyd involved twice. Rivette under pressure, there's only Hodgson chasing. Rivette loses it, Gibson, try for Halifax. Well, they tested out. Looked like Randall behind him. Now it's the last tackle. Rowley with a drop goal. And gets that one over. Well, there was a touch of obstruction there. Or complaints of it as a Leeds player stepped from the acting half marker. Allroyd out to Moana. Moana stepping inside. Through to support from Randall. No problem this time for Craig Randall. Halifax lose. Moana, dummy, steps inside. Gibson in support. Try time for Halifax. Not a hand. The scrum to Moana. Cuts inside, gets it back to Mercer. Mercer out to Cardis. Cardis under two. In the behind. Allroyd to Moana. Moana dancing and jinking. Turns it away to Gillespie. Gillespie through the middle. Good back to Allroyd. Tries on here, surely. Penny racing across. Allroyd with men inside. Try time for Gibson. Miles comes back across the face of the Warrington defence. Going back towards the post again, the Blue Sox.
Allroyd with the time and the step. Does he got it over? Allroyd, the one-pointer! 23-22 to Halifax Blue Sox. Tackle by Eppie and Tonks. Rowlett out to Randall. Randall gives it to Moana, bit of indecision. Moana's taking advantage, shrugged away the defence, and Moana will stretch for the line. Well, Castleford have been moving up very quickly on the Halifax defence so far. Ball to Gibson. Pinckney against Vowles. Pinckney for the corner, turns it back inside. Mercer will score for Halifax. Against Carl Kirkpatrick. Dunneman stepping inside. Dunneman support there. There's a shout for a forward pass. Hobson off towards the line. Turns it back inside. Try time for the Blue Sox. Steps inside Moana for the line. Dunneman trying to carve a way through. Ball out wide to Pinckney. Pinckney comes back inside and then pass it out to Gannon. Gannon's it and gets it away to Allroyd. Chances now perhaps as Allroyd kicks to the corner. Chase on from Hayes and Hobson. And Hobson's won it. The foot again. Cardiff for the try. Well, it unlocked the side side to Randall. Turned up as a centre, second row forward for the corner. Can he get there? The answer is yes. Well, I take Craig Randall.